What's up, everybody? Another video coming at you. First off, I want to thank all my new subscribers. We're almost 4x what we were 2 days ago, so that's amazing. You know, we talking X's here in the HEX community. We're on day 2 of the flu, but the fever's already gone down, so we're feeling a little bit better. Was a little sloggy in the last video, so try to do better in this one. I just want to keep bringing you guys interesting and eye-opening content, stuff that interests me. I figure may interest some of you. One of my commenters, actually, Feel Good and Grow is their name. They had some encouraging words for me and a suggestion to talk about what it was like to hold through all the dips in HEX, and if I was poor before HEX, and was I diversified into other coins. And I was just thinking today, because I had some other ideas for videos, but I didn't have them fully thought out yet. And I was like, man, what am I making a video about today? And then I was looking through my comments, and there it was. Seek and you shall find. So I'll make that video today. Now, I don't like to talk too in-depth about my personal crypto holdings, but if anyone was around during the first DeFi season, when Uniswap became more popular and people were just started launching coins, because I was only in 2020 or so that initially started, and it was insane. Basically, when all the sushi clones and liquidity farming madness started, you could literally print thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in minutes. It was like this new thing where you would get this token granted to you if you just put your coins in this pool. And nowadays everyone's like, yo, yeah, you do that and you get paid. It's like, okay. But back then when it just started, people had no idea how to price these new things coming out. And people were getting just thousands of these tokens that were worth $5, $10 each, and you just printing them off in in minutes. You're getting 1,000 of these tokens worth $5 or $10 a minute, and you're like, market sell. And then, anyway, some of these coins never recovered all those sushi clones, but I messed around with a bunch of that stuff. That was very interesting. It was fun, but it was a little high. It was definitely high risk. Somehow I never ever got rug pulled. I'm the luckiest. I've been in so many things back then. I don't do it anymore. That they rug pulled sometimes a week later, sometimes a month later or something, and it's just the chart is just well, for you guys, zero forever. And then they come out with some new contract, and they're like, oh, yeah, it works better now. And then it goes to zero, just hacks and exploits out the wazoo. But basically, I did that for a while. After, I got into the transform over the first. Luckily, I averaged in over the first several weeks of the, what is it called, adoption amplifier. Because luckily, I didn't just go all in the first day, like Richard warned everybody, because it was so tempting. Because you're like, oh, it's new, it's coming out, oh, it's gonna be the best day, first day, can't beat that. And then it was like, oh, that's the worst day for quite some time, buddy. But you're still up so much, it doesn't even matter. But one thing I'll say is I definitely sold some of my HEX way too early. I won't say how much, but oh man. I always kept a large amount that I was if this ever gets to a penny, I'm doing great, And then it went way past, and it was okay, glad we always kept this amount. And then I also, with my other profits later on in 2020, I just scaled more into HEX. So yeah, holding through all the dips, I always held some because I believed in it, and I was like, Richard is the best. This is his first project, and it was his first real project he'd ever released, and there's all that FUD around Richard, and I never believed it because I've literally watched every single Richard video, every interview. I've watched every single one that I've found. Some are on other people's channels, and sometimes it's hard to find them. But I I love watching his debates and stuff. You can learn just so much from someone like him. Um, and so yeah, Hex has. I think nowadays it's way less risky to hold Hex than back in the day. Higher risk, higher reward. Richard had never released a coin before. Maybe he does just exit scam. No one knew. But now that it's been around for 2 years and we've seen just the progress and how the code is the code and it just works and it's actually super awesome, the more you learn about it and not just like face value it, you realize, okay, this is actually insanely awesome. So once you realize that, you look at other crypto and you're just disgusted. You're just like, ew, wait, what? Promises? Oh, no, not immutable. Oh, admin keys. Oh, and you're just like, and I had never looked at like crypto like that in the past because, I only ever traded on like decentralized exchange in the past like 2 years. I completely hate centralized exchange. It's gross. You have to like AML KYC your face, and they lose all your information. And then they lock your account and stuff. Like what? Encourage margin trading? Gross. Anyway, going on a tangent there. But let's get a little further in here. So on top of that, basically the best thing that I've gotten out of Hex is not necessarily the financial gain. I know it's like easy to say that after you're not thinking about money, but it's true. Like I feel like if I learn, like since I have all this free time now with not having to worry about money because I went from a trader mentality to a holder and staker. And so you're basically, if you can, I don't know if it's because obviously we don't know the future, but mentally you feel financially set. So you just start thinking about what am I going to do with my time? And so what better use than to invest in yourself, which is what I've been doing. And so I've just been reading as much as I can, basically learning from the richest or most successful people in history on what were they doing and what did they think was most valuable. Because like there's so much to learn from the people of the past who were just successful. If you want to be like them, success leaves clues. So you can just learn from those guys. You don't have to try and figure it all out on your own, and you can save yourself a decade by reading one book. And I had never I don't know, it's like I didn't feel like I had the time to do that because I was worried about making money. And so when you don't have that worry, and I feel like you could get to the point where you don't have that worry before you super made it, I guess. And you would have all these awesome benefits before then, which are amazing. So now I'm always forever living in like an abundance mindset. And before I used to live in like a scarcity mindset where I never felt like I had enough and I'm thinking about what I don't have. I was always content. More so than I probably should have been. Probably content as like a coping mechanism, I guess. It was like, I almost lost my desire to like do or like to want amazing things in life because I just never really thought I would, I don't know, achieve them. But now with Hex and this abundance mentality, I'm learning to use my desire more effectively to get myself to go out into the world and take what I want. So I feel like if I lost everything in Hex and everything else financially, I would still have all these tools at my disposal to get it all back. So that confidence in yourself is just, I think, invaluable, and I won't say I wouldn't have been able to get it without Hex, but Hex certainly helped with that. Just because it's delaying gratification, and then that spreads to the rest of your life. You start making long-term choices as opposed to short-term I don't know, expenditures and excursions that don't really help you out long term, you know. Let's see. So basically, with HEX, I'm always, I'm always feeling safe and secure, just falling asleep every day, getting a daily payout. It feels so good. It doesn't matter what the price is doing. If you only sell the interest, the price doesn't matter. That's so comforting. Um, Back in the day, holding like any other crap coin, I'll say, you're just always worried, oh, when rug pull, guess I'll go to sleep. And luckily that never happened to me, but I know a lot of people who it has happened to, and that's just got to feel terrible. So now I don't have to worry about that really. And I wouldn't say I was poor before Hex, but I was, like I said, living with that scarcity mindset, which is if your mindset and your perception is everything. I think there's a saying like the perception is reality. So if you feel like you don't have enough, you're gonna not have enough. If you feel like you have a lot, you have a lot. Um, so I did always learn. I learned from my parents how to value basically every dollar I got. So I was never spending money on like anything. And I said in my other video that I used to be a gamer, but I was able to make myself quit. Um, I used to drink. I never had a drinking problem, but I also quit drinking. Um, but whenever you get into crypto and you realize that this $1, maybe you're gonna buy that McChicken at McDonald's. I also stopped eating fast food. But basically, that $1 can turn into $100. And you're like, is this chicken worth 100? No. So I don't know. Somehow I've just always had that mentality. It was even before crypto, just like this stuff isn't really worth it. But now that in Hex and stuff, it's like, wow, this can be multiple, maybe even thousands of dollars per dollar. And when you're thinking that way, you don't spend on things you don't need. And so I luckily have had that ingrained into me as like a kid and growing up, and my parents were like, my mom used to clip coupons and stuff, even though we did really, like, I don't know, not super insane well, but we're always trying to save and not overspend and everything on sale and stuff like that, which is just smart. Richard does the same thing, and he's like a billionaire. So um, like he gets good deals on those watches. He tells you don't pay retail for this. You can get it like way off if you just know what you're doing. Like don't be stupid with your money even if you have a lot of it. Because you will regret it whenever you realize all that money you spent on something you didn't need could have been your retirement, So yeah, I've always had like a large savings account, but I wouldn't say I was rich. I didn't have assets. And now Hex is like the best asset. You think I thought about getting into real estate with some of my gains and cashing some out, and then put some of that into gains, and you're like, I mean, it's got that real world value. Like if we have a solar flare and lose all internet, at least you have a house, an extra one or something. But I don't know. I just don't think it's gonna that's likely, and so maybe at some point some extra diversification wouldn't be bad. But basically, Hex and crypto beats any other investment vehicle. Um, and basically, I realized when I got into crypto in 2017 that once you make your first 2x in crypto, you never look at anything else the same again. Uh, you you go down the rabbit hole, as they say. Crypto basically turns the world on its head. It's like backwards land. You don't have to work hard, and you get rich in crypto. You can work hard in crypto, and you can get mega rich. And you don't have to work super hard in the real world, I guess, to get rich, but you gotta work harder than in crypto, I'll say. Um, as for diversification into other coins, I was back in 2020, but over time I put all my profits into Hex over the year, um, and now I hold almost like maybe there's like 1% of like a spread amongst other coins that I may hold small amounts of or something of the total. But basically 99% of it is HEX, and then there's like 1% ETH, and then 1% everything else. That's 101%. That's how we do it. But but so yeah, Hex is just the best. Oh, and then I sacrificed some Hex for Pulse, which was a genius ploy, by the way. You know, removing Hex from supply with sacrificing with huge dollar amounts. Amazing idea. Richard is so genius. And soon Pulse and Hex on Pulse is gonna be in my portfolio, of course. Um, and so I think that answers all those questions in that comment. So I want to thank Feel Good and Grow for the suggestion. I was contemplating, I was trying to think of a video today, and then I saw your comment. So good on ya. Thanks for supporting the channel like you do. Everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. There's more coming. I have a bunch of other ideas to release. I just want to thoroughly think them out ahead of time. Make some good content for you guys. All right, peace out, everybody. Keep on staking.